We're back again. How to make your layoff pay off. Dr. King at the whiteboard again. I wanted to share with you some daily strategies I use. Now, I was unemployed, and it was tough enough being unemployed. So I had to come up with a plan, and nobody told me this, everybody. I just began to understand that if I was going to succeed, if I was going to get back on top, I had to have a daily plan. I had to have a plan in place. And so I sat down and began to really try to understand how I would succeed being unemployed. And so I went back as a reference point, I went back to the way I operated when I had a job. And you heard me say this many times, everybody. If you go and start your own business, if you are willing to work as hard for yourself as you work for somebody else, as you work for that job, there is no way you can fail. I want you to think about that. Most people, they work hard on the job. Why? Because somebody's telling them to do it. But then a lot of times people try to start their own company, they kind of get the L word, lazy, right? They kind of kick back like, well, I don't have to do that. No, I'm saying you have to do that and more. But here's the joy of it. You're doing it for yourself. I was just talking to someone and I was encouraging them, hey, start your own company. You got the knowledge. You can sell that knowledge and people will pay you big money for it. You probably can make more money on one contract than you used to make in a whole year working for somebody else. Amazing. So watch this, everybody. Let me show you what I did in order to make sure that I succeeded. And I wrote down some strategies that I used. Now, in no particular order, but let me share them with you and write them down, everybody. Number one, prioritize exercise. It is very important when you're unemployed, get up and exercise every day. And what I like to say is get up at the same time every day. Get yourself up. A lot of times people they sit back like when we went into COVID, the shutdown, remember that? A lot of people gained what 10, 20 pounds because they were just sitting around. I heard of a lady. Now I'll never forget this. This was many years ago, but I never forgot about what I heard she did. She had a one-bedroom apartment and she decided that she was going to exercise and she lost 20 pounds just walking back and forth, putting in steps in this one-bedroom apartment. And I'm thinking, wow, if she can do that to this day, everybody. When I can't get out of the house or I got an early meeting or something, I will walk around the house. Or if I'm having a meeting on the phone, I'll walk around the house and get my steps in. Prioritize exercise. Get up. And I'm telling you, and everybody knows pretty much now that exercise does something very powerful to your psyche, to your mind. It freshens. I like to get up early in the morning. I like my exercise early in the morning. Why? Everything's quiet. Everything's fresh. The birds are chirping. The sun is just coming up. The air is fresh. And I'm walking and I'm talking with God and I'm asking for direction. I love that time. So I love exercising. Prioritize it, everyone. Get up and get your exercise in every day. If you can, try to get at least an hour in. Number two, dress as if you're going to work. Now that's the thing that nobody told me this, but I said, you know what? I've got to get up and I've got to think. See, once you dress, it puts you in a different state of mind. Isn't that true? And I think a lot of times what people had, and they're talking about rolling back, work from home, right? I think a lot of times what happened, people sat around, they did Zoom calls, they was online, but they was in their pajamas. They was in their house clothes. Well, there's something about if I'm in my house clothes, it makes me think that I'm relaxing. I made it a point that even if I'm on Zoom, I am going to dress up. I'm going to look professional at all times. And I'm telling you, it worked big time for me out there. When people saw me, when we came out of the shutdown and the close, when we couldn't go anywhere, the shutdown, people said, "Wow, Dr. King, I remember seeing you on video. Wow, you look just like you did on video." They didn't have to say, "Now wait a minute, who is this guy?" On the video, you didn't look that good, right? Get yourself up and get dressed. And here's what I use to kind of keep myself motivated in this area. I said, I want to dress as if somebody's going to call me today, right now, and say, hey, listen, we need to talk to you right now. We got a job offer. We got a contract. I want to meet with you. I got 1 hour to meet with you. Can you meet with me now? I want to be prepared to say, yeah, I can meet. Where you at? I'll meet with you. I want to be in that vein. I talked to somebody recently, said, they didn't think that was a good idea. And I'm like, hey, that's great. This is what I use. But he was saying, like, well, I get up at 10, 11 o'clock. And I said, how's that working for you? Not very good. Not very good. Get up, get yourself on. Think about going to your office as if you were going to work. Get yourself up, get your exercise in, get dressed, and be prepared for the call. If you're doing contracts like I do, be prepared at all times. If I run into people out in the public square, I want them to look over there and say, invite me. Hey, Dr. King, come on over here. Can you meet us for lunch? Yes, I'll meet you over there. Get dressed as if you're going to work and with the mindset that at any time somebody can call you for a job interview, somebody can call you for a Zoom call, somebody can call you for a contract. Be prepared. Look at the next one, everybody. Get moving, get moving, get moving. Get yourself up. Get some daily things. Have some daily goals. Okay. And part of that is to get moving. Go touch some people. If you're dressed, go. This is what I did, everybody. And I'm not, a lot of people might not like this, but this is what I did. I would get dressed. If I didn't have anything, I would just walk the malls. And you know what I enjoyed most about walking the mall? Everybody's at work. The people that's at work, you go to the mall during the daytime, it's empty. Nobody's there. And so you get a chance to kind of walk, talk, or I'll go visit some people I know, some people, that I haven't seen. I did something every day to keep myself moving, to touch people, because you never know. Remember, work comes to work. When you're doing things, it's amazing. Volunteer at the school, volunteer at your kids or your grandkids, college or high school or elementary or nursery. Volunteer, at the local church or synagogue. Volunteer. Do something. Get going because people find you're like a magnet when you're moving. People respect people that are busy. So get busy, everybody. Next one, take yourself to lunch every day. Take yourself to lunch every day. That's priority. Every day, every day. When I was at home, I got dressed, and a lot of times I was working from the house, making phone calls, whatever. But when the lunch hour came from 12, I took a 2 hour lunch break. You said, wait a minute, 2 hours? Yes, 2 hours. Why? I wasn't playing. I was out there. I would have lunch. And of course, I would go to a mall and have lunch because there's a lot of people. By the lunchtime, there's a lot of people. And a lot of times people will see me or they'll ask me or or if you're consistent, people say, hey, what do you do? I see you over here. What do you do? But it's something, but I want you don't have to take 2 hours like I did, because I worked. I came back and worked in the evening time. But uh, take yourself to lunch. Make sure that you're touching people, you're relaxing, have that lunch break. And a lot of times, I don't mean you have to eat lunch, just go and sit in the square, cross your legs, get some sunshine if you got a mall where you can be outside and just enjoy the day. Take that time. Next, uh, have an off day. Make sure that you have an off day. And what I mean by that, you don't have to take the whole day off, but once a week, on Fridays, that was my day. And I said, you know what? Today, I'm going to throw my hand. Now, I worked hard. I said, I'm going to throw my hands behind my back. I'm just going to go walk sometime. Sometime I would go to the museums. I would go walk the museums in San Diego, Balboa Park. I would walk down at the village, and I would just walk. It was something refreshing about being out and thinking. So make sure that you have a day in which you say, okay, I've worked hard. Now I want you to work hard every day at what you do. Work hard. But have that day in which you just relax for a moment or two and say, you know what? I'm just gonna go throw my hands behind my back. I would walk to a furniture store. I look at all the new furniture. I would walk through model homes. I would do things that kept my mind thinking about where I was going and how successful I was going to be. Next, attend conferences. If you got conferences coming to your city, find out what they are. All you have to do is call the hotel and they'll tell you what conferences are coming to your city. Go sit in the lobby. Get dressed. You know, if there's a conference for what you do coming to your city, go sit in the lobby. And what I would do, I'll sit in the lobby, I'll order a Coke or Pepsi or Sprite, something, and I sit there. And it's amazing how people will talk to you. And I walk up to people. They at the conference. I said, hey, they have on a conference badge. I said, hey, I see you at the conference. What conference is this? Oh, this is the leadership conference for middle managers. Oh, great, great, great. Where are you from? And before you know it, I then struck up a conversation and people want to know what I do and we can exchange information. Put yourself in the way for success. And then finally, read, read, read. Read at least an hour a day. Read and know what's going on in your industry. Read. Read an hour a day. Get your industry publications, your magazines, your peer review journals. Read it and get up to date. Nobody wants to talk to an airhead, right? So when you're talking to people, be up to date on what's going on. Be able to talk about how AI is going to change your industry. People like to be around interesting people. And so make yourself interesting. Those are the points. Go back through them, everybody. That's how I structured my day. And before you know it, I was back on top. I was traveling the world, people paying big money to have me come to Dubai and Paris and Alaska and Hawaii and Puerto Rico, all over. Yeah, it took time, but I put myself in the way to succeed. I'm going to sign off for now. How to make your layoff pay off. Have a daily plan. Get up, get going, and remember this above all: you are valuable. You are worth what you're asking for. Believe that. And before long, you're going to be back on top. Subscribe, write, leave me a note. Leave me an email if I can help you in any way. Let me know. Dr. King signing off for now. Go out there and make your dreams king.